To answer the question why it is that bad money chases good money out of the economy. Well, it's an economy. It's just people. That's all it is. People engaged in commerce. Bad money will always chase good money away. Here's why. If bad money exists, who would you rather pay people? What would you rather pay them with? Your good money, your hard money, your money that has like real value to it, or your money that is printed from nothing and you can just get as much as you want and you can just give it to people, right? Pretty easy to understand. So there's never been, to my knowledge, anywhere a recorded case where good money has chased out bad money. The bad money has to collapse first. Okay, that's why I talk about things the way that I talk about them here on my channel. When I talk about the collapsing of the US dollar and all other fiat currencies for that matter, globally, it's to get rid of the bad money. It's so that people see it for what it actually is. Keep in mind, a lot of people, I know what they say. I know what lots of people say. I know how they love to present themselves. It's sort of like the way boomers love to present themselves as these towering paragons of financial genius because, well, you know, back when Robert Downey Jr. got his first DUI, they bought a house, and so now they're a gazillionaire on paper. Come on. That's not financial genius. That's not anything. That's your currency that's that bad money getting made worthless. That's all that's happening. So, all of that said, there hasn't been a case like that. So we want the stuff to collapse. And I realize that people don't want that to collapse because they do very well. Keep this in mind. Every civilization, whether it's communism, socialism, capitalism, there's always going to be a group of people, a core nucleus of people who make a lot of money off of the destruction of everybody else. There will always be that. No, communism's the way to go, man. No, dude, communism's just as bad. Any of that stuff is just as bad. The end result for anybody doing the work is the same. Okay? And like I'm just telling you this. For those of you who haven't been out in the workforce enough, and I'm not talking about trying to find a job at a company. That's safety. No. Go out and start businesses. Go do this stuff for a living. Go out with no safety net, no bailouts, no nothing, and risking your own money. Go out and do all this. And your perspective you will broaden your horizons, the like of which there is no institution on this planet can teach you. Nothing. There isn't an institution. I don't care if it's Harvard Business School. There is no institution that can teach you that. Not in real time. You have to go out and do it. Unless this is all a big simulation and you're supposed to be learning this anyway. In which case it's like, dude, go do something then, if that's the case, if you think that. But yeah, so when you understand that like your good money is gonna just sit and it's gonna pool. It's always gonna pool. Whether it's gold, orange internet money, silver, doesn't matter. It's always gonna pool and it's gonna turn into a so-called investment rather than circulate like a currency the way it should. Here's the other problem that a lot of people have, is that there are some people who know this. Okay, that's why they created the Federal Reserve. That's why they did all this stuff. A lot of people have read The Creature from Jekyll Island. If you have not read The Creature from Jekyll Island by Edward Griffin, you probably should. If you have read The Creature from Jekyll Island by Ed Griffin, then the question is, did you actively read it? What do I mean when I say that? Active reading means that you're questioning the whole time. You're not just reading words on a page. You're questioning what you're reading the entire time, and you're reverse engineering why these guys created this system in the first place. It's just a scam. That's all it is. It's just a way of getting you to work for a bunch of worthless paper that they can print from nothing. That's all it is. It's just, and this is anywhere in the world you go. Anywhere in the world you go. That includes Russia. That includes all of Europe. That includes all of those countries that a bunch of you are out there, we want free healthcare, man. It's all those countries too. They all do this. China, all of them do this. All these countries, if it has a central bank, which is basically all of them, they all do this. Well, but the people in China, no. Some people in China live these beautiful lives, just like here in the US. You've all seen LA. I'm in California right now. And It's ridiculous. It's absurd being here. You see everything, you'll see wealth everywhere with abject poverty right next to it. The contrast is insane. And it's gotten worse since the last time I was here. So, yeah, you think that doesn't exist in other countries? You just don't see it. You don't see it as much. Nobody wants to, because see, think about it, nobody wants to publicize that. Put yourself in the leadership position. Put yourself in the position of one of these world leaders. What do you want people to see in your country? Do you want them to see all the poverty you're creating? Of course you don't want anybody to see that. Of course you don't. You would be insane. If I were your advisor, I would tell you, dude, you're insane to point out all of this poverty that you are creating by conjuring all kinds of money and destroying the working class, the people who do all the work. The people who take all of the shit out of the pipes and go treat it so that way people don't die of like dysentery and other diseases, cholera, etc. I mean, or E. coli. Like, dude, right? You don't want to cover that up. The U.S. isn't the only country that does that. Like, dude, it's every other country does this. Every country does this. So you're not going to escape this idea until you get past the idea of the fiat money, because it's the only way that can happen. Is with fiat. Hard money means that the truth comes out. A true hard money economy, in fact, I've said this before and I'll say this again, 80% of people who fancy themselves to be capitalists, okay, again, the people who bought the house, and they're like, oh my God, I'm a paragon of financial genius because I bought a house in the 80s, and come on. Those people in a real hard money, actual free market economy would probably flee the U.S. and look for the nearest socialist country they could find to move to and say, oh my God, the U.S. is horrible. Yeah, you mean you have to produce? You mean you actually have to go and do jobs? You either have to go and do something that other people don't do or don't want to do or can't do. Or you have to be better at business, real business, not gambling, not just casino stuff, but actual real business, meaning that you're actually providing a product or service at market prices. What does that mean? Because most of you don't know what the hell that means. Market means it goes up. It also means it goes down. Rent seekers haven't figured this out. They just assume, oh, real estate always goes up. No. It's not supposed to go up. Not anymore. The market, you're beyond the market. I just saw today, from CNBC, they're now doing where you can pay your rent you can now pay your rent using pay over time to pay your rent. It's your deficit financing your own rent. Are you insane? That's how bad it's gotten. In other words, your rents are so high, you're beyond the market. You've gone outside of the market. I told you this. I told all your rent seekers and landlord bros this. I told you this 3 years ago publicly. Video on TikTok got millions of views. And I told you this, guys, and like half of the people went in the comments, you don't know what you're talking about, you're stupid, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, no, I was right. I was right then, and I'm right now. And the fundamentals haven't changed. The math hasn't changed. The fundamentals haven't changed. Nothing has changed. In fact, if anything, it's gotten worse. Because you're still flooding the country with illegals. You're still flooding the country with legals. Both of which are bad. Like, oh no, they're not deporting shit. Come on, be adult. Don't go all childish on me. No, they're not deporting anything. They can't. You realize what would happen? I've said this on many occasions. You realize what would happen to the U.S. economy if 50 million illegals were gone right now? They were just vaporized, right? They just poof in a puff of smoke. They disappeared from the U.S. and they appeared in like Uganda or wherever, just Israel, wherever. They just appear somewhere else. What would happen to the U.S. economy? That's why they won't deport them, because we all know. Anybody who's actually in real business knows exactly what would happen. Rents would crater. Everything would crater because it's propped up with cheap labor. That's the bad money. The bad money is propped up with cheap labor. It is the definition of a Ponzi scheme. I hear people all the time throwing Ponzi schemes around as if you know what the definition of that is. I'm not criticizing. It's just like the orange internet money, that's a Ponzi scheme. No. Orange internet money, the fundamentals, none of the numbers have changed. That is the exact opposite of a Ponzi scheme. It's the exact opposite. It's the polar opposite of that. Maybe some of you will figure this out.